All right, welcome to another episode of Inside of Ties. This episode is all Under Armour. All Under Armour. And it's the reason why I think Under Armour is doing a lot better than everybody else thinks. So let's get to the theme song real quick, come back, and we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to give you my top 4 reasons why Under Armour is killing it right now. Come back after the theme song. Inside of Ties. Okay, in order to get started, I guess what all of this kind of stems from another episode, which will be down here in the description. Because when I point like this, and if you're on a mobile device, you can't see the little bubbles that I'm pointing to, but I'm still going to put the bubbles all over the place here. But these are the things that we're going to talk about. Section 1, Under Armour is winning. Okay. Section 2, Steph Curry and the meme that was going around a few months ago, as well as the Chef Curry thing. Number 3, section 3 is UCLA and Under Armour. Now it goes much further than that, obviously, because Under Armour has more schools. But the idea that UCLA is in the Under Armour school now, explosive. Basically, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to get to, and it's a really important one, is the growth of Under Armour in this recent quarter. If you don't know anything about business, then the business year is set up in quarters: first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. 12 months, 3 months is a quarter. So the second quarter would be what, January, February, March, April, May, June would be the second quarter. But Under Armour had some ridiculous growth in the second quarter, and it's amazing what they're doing as a company. So let's get into the first thing, and that is the idea of Under Armour. Under Armour, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, since it's August, Under Armour during the Super Bowl, right around the Super Bowl and Christmas, the Christmas Day games and things like that, Nike makes this heavy push, and they've got their brand players and everybody else, and it's a big deal because they're releasing the holiday shoes. Well, it was funny because Steph Curry basically stole the whole kind of thing away from Nike. So Under Armour killed it right around Christmas, and they killed it in 2 different ways. They had Cam Newton and they had Steph Curry, and Cam Newton was on his way to a Super Bowl. So we get this kind of transition in December, which happened really all the way through the year because they had Jordan Spieth in the golf gear. They had, let's see, Bryce Harper, baseball, and they got Cam Newton. They had all of the MVPs. And I mean, Under Armour is just doing this amazing work, but they're not doing any marketing whatsoever. And typically you associate shoes and marketing with Nike, right? This is what's funny. Steph Curry was in commercials on Christmas Day and afterwards, but the best commercial by far looked like an Under Armour commercial, but it was a Muscle Milk commercial. Muscle Milk. Steph Curry, muscle, muscle milk. And it looked like a Under Armour ad. So I got an article where I talk about this. Under Armour winning Christmas was a big deal. And it kind of transitioned us into this year where Under Armour had this kind of explosive growth, and they were doing all of these great things. The second thing, the Steph Curry, there was this meme that was going around talking about how Nike missed out on Steph Curry. Nike did not miss out on Steph Curry. I called it back then. Here's an article on that. It's right here. It's also in the description. And I talked about the idea that Steph Curry basically went to Under Armour because it was like the Godfather. They gave him a deal he couldn't refuse. Nike did not do that. All right, so let's get over all of that kind of stuff. So we're not even going to go there again. Look at the article and the Chef Curry thing. The amazing thing about the Chef Curry stuff, the second quarter is when the Chef Curry shoe came out. All of those negative comments about the white Steph Curry low top shoe, basically it drove the sale of that shoe, and that shoe sold out all over the place. And then they had to do a restock on that shoe. So now the shoe is kind of sitting around in different places. But that shoe sold out. As much as people said that it was ugly and all of this other stuff, the honest truth is that whoever the idiot was that took the picture at such a bad angle, it looked like the shoe was a bubblehead. That was the problem with the picture. If they had taken a regular picture from the side, we wouldn't even had all of this drama about the Steph Curry shoe, but it was a bad angle. So check out the Steph Curry meme article, and I'm moving on to section 3. Section 3, UCLA, the O'Bannon brothers. Obviously, way back, we start looking at the history of UCLA, and it was an Adidas school. When they won championships, it was an Adidas school. As far as I can always remember, the blue and gold of UCLA was rocking Adidas. Under Armour pulled UCLA away from the top brand in the world. And they are doing it by actually funding every sport. What a lot of people don't understand about college basketball and college sports is that football and basketball are basically sponsored sports. They're paid for all of the gear and everything else. But the other sports that exist inside of, a college athletics program, typically they have to pay for their gear. They don't get anything for free. Well, Under Armour came into UCLA and they did what? They gave them a deal they couldn't refuse. They outfitted the entire sports program. I wrote about that. It's right here under my chin. You can click that, or you can go down into the description and you can look at that as well. But this is all leading up to my final point, which is section 4. And this is really, it's perfect timing because my guy, Tayyib at Housakicks, he wrote this article right here. He wrote this article, and it's an article that basically covers the history of the Steph Curry line. And I was like, man, this is perfect timing because Under Armour released some information yesterday at the end of the second quarter. What was that information that they released? Under Armour had a growth of 28%. Under Armour is on their way to making almost $5 billion this year. While people are sitting around still being fanboys of Nike and all these other brands or all this other stuff, and they're hating on the Steph Curry shoes, Under Armour is laughing all the way to the bank. And it's something you should pay attention to, because when the door opens for another brand to come in, it makes the diversification of the shoe market that much better. Shoes are going to be great the rest of this year. You'll be able to get what you want, all because Under Armour is pushing the boundaries and forcing Nike to adjust. As a matter of fact, I almost want to say that Kevin Durant to Golden State could be funded by Nike. Am I wrong? Maybe. But I mean, think about it. You have to put a Nike guy in that brand. And Draymond Green and his Snapchat is not going to sell any Nike shoes. All right? So you have to have a Nike guy in that situation because the two best players on the team, one wears Anta or Peak and Clay, and the other wears Under Armour. The Nike presence is nowhere on that team, and now Nike has a presence on the best team in the NBA. Conspiracy? I think so. Well, this episode is all about Under Armour, and that's really it. I love to hear what you guys have to think about it. It's some pretty good information to think about, and that is it for this episode of Insider Ties. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Make sure you subscribe down below. Hit me with any questions, something that you want to talk about. I think it's a great kind of opportunity for us to analyze sneakers from a business point of view. So let's do that. Let's analyze these kicks and let's talk about this stuff in a more business-like situation instead of just hating on Steph Curry shoes. Let's do this. Let's have fun. Insider Ties. See you guys next Tuesday. Peace.